Hey guys, Shavua Tov, Hodesh Tov. I heard the most amazing thing on Shabbat from a friend of mine who was visiting from Israel. He was part of our minyan for a while, and then he had to go back to Israel. He was here in business, and said the most amazing thing, and I didn't know this. So, as you guys know, or maybe you don't, during the 3 weeks, starting from the 17th of the month of Tammuz until the 9th of Av is obviously the mourning period where we commemorate the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem and also other calamities in our history. One of the things is you're not allowed to have weddings. You're not allowed to make a huppah during the 3 weeks. And, it's a sad time and you can't make a huppah, right? What's interesting, guys, is that our sages tell us that, when Mashiach comes, Tisha B'Av will be a happy day. It'll be a yontif. And these 3 weeks will be not a mourning period anymore. Okay? Guys, you know what's interesting? So, my friend told me that in Israel, this year, the rabbis decided, and this is the first time I've seen the rabbis in Israel decide really anything in terms of, decrees or changing anything. Probably since Rav Kook, when he helped, people who were like farmers and growers to not lose money because of Shemitah, by giving them all kinds of loopholes and provisions to sell their land temporarily, right, to non-Jews or whatever it is. It's a whole thing. So I think that was like the last time there was any big what's called psak din. So the rabbis this year said, you know what? Because of all the delays, all the postponements of weddings because of the war, because of all the stuff that happened with Iran, and also it's like all the halls, all the venues are booked, from like the start of the spring until basically October, and people could not rebook locations. The rabbi said, you know what? People can have weddings, from the 17th of Tammuz until the end of Tammuz, basically for the 2 weeks, or 12 days or whatever, 12 or 13 days. You're allowed to have a wedding, obviously, except for Shabbos. My friend told me, he's like, I've been to a few Tammuz, post 17th of Tammuz weddings, pre-month of Av weddings in Israel. And there's been a ton of them. Folks, this is incredible. This means that we're getting closer and closer to the Mashiach, to the arrival of Mashiach, to the era where hopefully Tisha B'Av will be a yontif, because already now in Israel, these days from 17th of Tammuz until the end of Tammuz have become full of simcha, at the very least full of weddings. Okay? It's incredible, guys. I did not know about this, and frankly, guys, again, I'm shocked that the rabbis took, so to speak, matters into their own hands based on, basically reality on the ground. We talk about other things that they could do that they, so to speak, whatever, are not bold enough to do, let's say, or, they always say, oh, we stand on the shoulders of giants, we can't do this, we can't do that. But this time, guys, they decided, I think it was the chief rabbinate, decided that hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna let people have weddings because, like, functionally, it just doesn't. Folks, this is the Torah, right? It. Within the confines, so to speak, of halacha, nobody's saying you have to go and reform, quote unquote, reform the religion. But if you're having situations, you have situations, you see that there's like extreme, an extreme scenario, right? In Eretz Israel, especially, right? Or in Klal Israel, So you make provisions within reason, right? We're not going crazy. We're not saying, oh, you can have weddings in the whole 3 weeks. No, just okay. In the month of Tammuz, because we know that in the month of Av we decrease the joy, right? Once Av hits, we decrease the joy. But by the way, guys, that was another thing. The rabbi in shul said today, and this connects to what I just said. He said that Lubavitcher Rebbe used to say, he flipped the whole thing on its head. He used to say, guys, I know that we're supposed to decrease in joy because of these 9 days. I know we're supposed to do that, but what I want people to do is I want people during these 9 days to learn as much about the halachot, the laws of the Beis Hamikdash, the dimensions, the halachas inside. Once what do you do inside the Beis Hamikdash, as much as you can. Because he was basically saying that because he was talking about those days, right? That Ezekiel, Heskel, already saw the prophecy of the second temple, and Hashem said to him, "You have to tell people immediately." And he's like, "What do you mean? They just had the first temple was destroyed." He's like, "No, you gotta tell people immediately about the second." Why? Because it's as if they will, if they know about that there's going to be a second, it's as if the second's already built, right? So what the Rebbe is saying basically is like, you gotta just tell people. You gotta tell people about the temple, and you have to tell people to learn about it, to focus on it, so that it's as if it's already built, as opposed to like, oh, woe is me, So my friends, honestly, when I heard this about what's going on in Israel with the weddings and everything like that, honestly, it knocked my socks off. And by the way, this is the first time there have been weddings in this like 2-week period in Tammuz, probably, meaning a lot of weddings by religious people, right? Probably since 2,000 years ago. Yeah, you could say, well, secular people probably had weddings at that time, and all this kind of thing. But this is the first time people who are, Torah observant people are having weddings for the first time in 2,000 years. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. So, B'ezrat Hashem, guys. We have an interesting week coming up in many ways, whether you're in Israel or in America. And B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to see amazing things. And hopefully this Tisha B'Av will be a Yontif. Alright, guys. Talk to you soon.